Hello everyone. Today I would like to present Smaya's progress update, and a lot of people have been asking how are you guys building this and explain when you say agent, what do you mean by agent? If the agent is actually a single task that it does, but I've been saying that an agent is a multi-capable. Think of it like a person where it has its tools, abilities, it understands the workflows, it makes decisions. Ideally, it is 100% replacer. Only if it is a 100% replacer, that's when we call it as an agent, at least from our definition point of view. To start with, let's understand the traditional hiring process. If you take any traditional hiring process, the candidate has four channels of communication, let it be email, WhatsApp, direct call, or any IVR based call. Generally, the limitation is one recruiter can do one employee at a time. So they cannot multitask, they cannot call two employees at the same time. That is not possible at all. And end of the day, they basically use platforms like Darwin, SAP, or Workday to basically do the status updates. What we are trying to do is we're trying to add an agentic layer where the agents are the one who are basically doing the tasks end to end. Instead of one employee at a time, it's basically 100 employees at a time. So this is 100% efficient when you start using Smaya as the agent, and the agent basically communicates everything end to end to the recruiter, and the same process goes back to the Darwin box. Now let's understand what exactly Smaya is capable of. In terms of capabilities, the channel that it can start talking, it can be agnostic. It can be WhatsApp, Slack, Teams, any chat app that you want. We can configure with that. Now Smaya also has multiple different capabilities where it basically enables it. I'll show you how we do that. So in terms of the life cycle, it covers the job management, AI screening, human round, background verification, and HRMS. Typically, these are called the sub-agents. So the orchestration layer is what Smaya will manage. It basically makes the decisions and then it gives orders to the sub-agent, and the sub-agent starts acting according to that. Now, these can be one directional. They are basically flowing into one way. It hits the API, it does its job, and then sends the response back in terms of summary. Typically, when you're hiring candidates, your typical timeline is 30 days, which we want to basically reduce to 5 days. Now I'll quickly explain how far we have progressed on this. So as you can see, this is the dashboard. On the dashboard, you have your KPIs, recruitment funnel, candidate sourced, candidate activity, and all. But the first thing that any company basically does is we need to set up the agent. In order for us to set up the agent, we need to give its name, description, domain expertise. We need to configure the WhatsApp channels or any channel for that matter. Once that is done, you need to give it core instructions. So the instructions can be very different from company to company, but you need to tell it like a roles and responsibilities, how you give it to your recruiter. It's the same process. You need to basically give it the core instructions. Once that is done, you should be able to create all the integrations. So all the tools, APIs, starting from your DocuSign, each and everything, you need to basically enable them. You have to enter your API keys. If you are posting a job, you have to basically give its criteria. If you're pulling the data from LinkedIn, you have to basically give its criteria. So all this is basically a configuration where you need to basically set it up first, and then it acts accordingly. And then you basically start uploading your knowledge base. So knowledge bases, every company has their own job templates, culture, employee handbook, interview screening process. So these are all basically one time setup where you basically upload the knowledge, and the Smaya basically understands this as its context. Imagine this is something like a rag. If you have to pull a specific information, this is the source that it basically pulls it from. And then we have templates. Templates are basically the messaging templates. What kind of message has to be sent during the welcoming, screening, offer, rejection, and what is the job offer template, offer letter, NDA, employee handbook. All that can be configured and done. And then we start with LLM. So every company can choose their own LLMs and how the LLM basically acts. And we can basically enter different prompts and first understand how the prompting is working. We should also set up the LLM in terms of what it's capable of and how it's basically doing the job. So the sequence, workflows, everything has to be set up, including the data sources very specific to the LLM, which basically handles core LLM, and it basically functions according to that. And then you start planning your integration. So whatever specific integrations that you have, we have to enter the API key here. And then the automation, what kind of automations have to be done, you can switch on and off. For example, you don't want to run a AI screening interview, you can basically switch it off. And what kind of what when should the AI screenings have to be done, what are the time limits. So this is literally like a job description or something that you tell to a human. It's the same thing that you're doing, but as a one time configuration. And then you also set up your approvals in terms of what all approvals have to be given and what is the threshold and all of that. And then you basically start connecting your HRMS. So in HRMS, if you're using SAP SuccessFactor, you'll also be able to connect with that, and then all the jobs things, candidates things, everything basically goes back and forth using this integration. Now, once you're done with the agent setup, then you start basically testing it. So we have something called builder. So builder is where every organization has its own flow. You basically create your entire flow on how the hiring basically happens. So some companies have 5 rounds and some companies have 4 rounds. You can do your flow settings, how it has to be done, what LM has to be used for this flow, and the organization settings. So you can configure the amount of time that has to be spent on each interview. And you also have a debugging console to see how many logs have been appearing once the flow gets executed. And then what we've also done is we've created our own sandbox. So once you're done the setup, you can start testing, in terms of how the candidates have been evaluated. So you can basically do a test prompt and you can see how the responses are done. You can also upload random, resume candidates and see how the scoring is completed. In test management, you can actually upload multiple resume PDFs and also see how it is performing, the model is performing. And then all the API testing related, how the response payload, how it is coming back and forth. And is the AI basically having any bias? If there is any bias that it is showing, if you're uploading different male or female resumes, you can also track that. And then you have your entire logging system. You can also see what it has been trying to do and if there's any failure. And the model that you've built, since it's a whole configuration, it basically learns over time. You can also see what kind of model evaluation in terms of accuracy, success rate, all that can be tracked here. Now, once that is completed, we have an activity log. So activity log is how Smaya basically is acting, what kind of decisions is it taking, when did it approve, when did it reject. So this along with the API logs that it can create. So it basically does calling, every time it basically has to take an action. All that basically happens here. And then you can also see the amount of candidates that it has basically talked, rejected. All that also can be tracked. And the same goes with the performance and also the bias state. Now that you basically have the configuration completed, so the first thing that you can do is, so this is how the chat interface is. So you can basically start asking it to create a job description, which is the first task that it needs to do. So as you can see, it's asking me what kind of details are required. I'm just saying that just auto generate what you have. So you're able to see how it is able to generate. Similarly, it can take a lot of actions. It can schedule interviews. It can do. It does the check back. It basically does the background check, offer letter, request documents, and all of that. The other best part is we've also integrated the thinking process. So this is where the real-time reasoning is happening. Every time there is a prompt that happens, we basically track in terms of how the reasoning and the thinking happens. So this is where the whole maturity aspect comes in. We train the model to make sure that the certain steps or certain decisions that it has made will be corrected over time. So currently, if you see, it has taken 17 different steps, for it to basically create a job description and put it into LinkedIn. And and you can also see what all communication it is doing. So like I said, it's basically 100 at a time. It can start communicating parallel threads with multiple candidates. You can see it's asking to collect documents, sending offer letters, scheduling meetings, AI screening. It's pretty much doing the full cycle of what a typical recruiter has to do. And then once you're in the candidates, if your account is already plugged with Darwin Box, you can use the data to basically pull it from your ATS. You can also use the existing ATS to pull the new requirements. And once you open a particular candidate, you can now see the details in terms of what is the AI scoring that it has done, how much did this particular candidate rank. And you can see all the chat that Smaya is basically doing with the candidate. You can also see that it was able to schedule the round 2, round 3 interview, and it also started the background verification. So the background verification, how many checks have been completed, what all things that it has done, that is one. And what are the recent AI decisions that it has made specific to this particular candidate. So that also can be tried inside the customer. And once the onboarding process is done, since it's already linked with Darwin Box or SAP SuccessFactor, or you can also see what all things that are being done and calculated with an account activity timeline. So this is all we have achieved so far. Hopefully, this will go live soon. We're very excited to bring this onto the platform. The current platform already has the capability of building the reports. So this is how we are basically able to generate a report after the AI screening is completed. It's a very detailed report. It captures the video, transcript, pretty much everything that is required during the session. And this is the leaderboard that we are building, which is going to be a future release. The days are gone where you basically see single profile. We want to gamify pretty much everything, and the recruitment leaders, they basically quickly access the dashboard and they'll make a decision on the fly to basically hire people. So this is how we are trying to reduce the whole thing into 5 days. So Smaya will be like the ChatGPT movement for the HR tech and HR domain. It will be revolutionary once it is proven to a couple of companies. Everybody gets to access this. I hope this will change the complete industry. So this is the team that is building Smaya. We're really proud about our team, and we're scaling up. We're adding another 10 AI resources just to get this up and running. So this is the core technology stack that we're using. It's a combination of multiple frameworks, libraries, tools, open source. There's so much that's happening in the background, but this is how we're also giving the core capability to Smile. Thank you.